If you have empty nose syndrome for a long time, several years, there is a good chance you will also develop constipation, more or less. Constipation, I mean, you don't go to the toilet for several days, 4, 5 days regularly. And the reason for this is that in the long term, there is a good chance that empty nose syndrome, because of dry nostrils, will cause chronic constant body dehydration, and you may not be aware of this body dehydration. I do have videos on my playlist where I explain. You can do the skin pinch test. So pinch the skin at the back of your hand, at the top of your hand, and if the skin is not elastic and goes back immediately in shape, if it stays like a lizard or so, then you suffer from dehydration. The reason for this I explain in another video is that there may be changes in the lungs because of dry nostrils, because the lungs don't get the humid air that they need. I don't go in details at this point, but what I want to say is that body dehydration over a long period of time will cause a less liquid fluid or liquid volume inside your body, also on your blood as well. So less blood volume, and the intestine to proceed or to make the digestion needs humidity. The intestine and also the stomach area, obviously, but especially the intestine, the complete intestine length needs a lot of humidity to make the food travel, so move into the intestine. And that humidity it's lost by chronic dehydration, body dehydration, in this ENS condition, especially after several years of ENS condition. So to alleviate this, you may need to drink water throughout the days, even if you don't feel thirst, at least 1-2 liters the whole day, 1-2 quarts. I was saying that intestine needs fluid to move the food inside the intestine to have the food travel. And if the intestine doesn't get enough fluid from the rest of the body because of dehydration, then the food simply doesn't travel fast enough, slows down. Obviously, the intestine is very, very long, several meters, right? I think it's, I don't know, 10, 20 meters in humans. So the food gets blocked at some point, and there is a lot of food accumulating, obviously. So all this to say that you need to keep drinking water, but also my advice is to start using, if you notice you don't go to the toilet maybe every 2 days or at least every 3 days regularly, start taking fiber supplement at each meal. I repeat, at each meal, not just once a day in the morning. That's not enough. After each meal, drink, maybe take 1 tablespoon or more, adjust as needed. Fiber supplements, read the instructions, mix with water, and stir and drink right away after each meal. At the end of the meal, this fiber will go into the stomach, will mix with the food that you just ate, and hopefully is going to reduce the constipation problem. Also, I recommend, when possible, to eat fresh salad. Just get the salad. You can mix it, you can prepare it, but I prefer just remove one big salad loaf and just wash it with water, and I just eat it like this, at the same time with the food. So this time, not at the end of the meal, but during the meal, I would eat a big, large loaf of salad. Should be enough for every meal. I just basically, you eat your food and you take a piece of that loaf at the same time. So eat the loaf at the same time with the meal. This helped me with my constipation. I do have other videos. I describe the fibers which are on the market. Also, if you have a very severe constipation for more than 1 week or even 10 days without going to toilet, you may want to look into uh, magnesium, I think magnesium citrate or something like this. You find this in drugstores. Just buy the fiber parts, fiber items, bottles. It's more stronger, but very temporarily for the constipation relief. Again, I think is magnesium citrate. Read the instructions. So this is not for permanent use. It's just very temporary. Also, I want to say that my constipation problem, when I started having this constipation problem, I also started having abdominal pain at the same location. I would describe it, it's slightly to the left of my belly button. So look at your belly button and just slightly to the left and slightly below the belly button. So maybe I would say my pain was about 2, 3 inches, about 10 centimeters, or maybe 5 centimeters to the left as you look towards your belly button, right? Your left hand, the left side, a pain in the stomach area, which was very constant and very the same location. And that pain actually was caused by if you look at the images of the colon inside your stomach, that's going to be located I think in the descending colon. So you have three sections of colon, and you have the vertical ascending, the horizontal, which goes left side, and then descending one, which goes to the rectum. So I think it was inside the descending um, section of the column, or maybe also in the horizontal one. So this, my understanding is that the food got stuck for long periods. You may have what's called a partial blockage of your intestine. So basically, the food still travels, but there is actually is no longer food in the colon. It's stool, but the stool, a piece of stool gets stuck at some point on the colon, and there this piece gets stuck in there for many months basically, and the rest of the stool still can pass by this piece. So it's only a piece that gets stuck on the column, not sure, mucosa actually is the inner surface of the colon. So if food gets stuck, like stool actually gets stuck like this, that mucosa where the food is sticking to, that mucosa of the colon gets irritated, gets inflammation. It's not necessarily an infection, something dangerous. It's just an inflammation, because that mucosa really it's covered with this piece of stool which is stuck in there. But that inflammation causes that pain. So what happens to me is that um, I had severe constipation over a long period of time. When I realized what's happening, I started eating a lot of fresh salad, and the salad did travel with the food through the intestine and did clear that blockage. So that blockage got cleared, that piece that was stuck in there, and when the blockage got cleared, so again it was a partial blockage. You may also have a total complete blockage. That's dangerous. You need to go to the hospital quickly, because complete the blockage, just look up online, will no longer let the stool pass. So if you don't go to the toilet for 10 days or more, then just go to the doctor, go to the hospital. They will do an X-ray exam and will help you. But I was saying that my partial blockage went away, but the portion of the colon that was irritated did remain irritated. So what happens now is whenever I have I do take care of my constipation, but sometimes I just, for whatever reason, I don't take enough fiber, or I did switch fiber brands too, and the new brands were no longer as good. So whenever I get constipation again, I get that pain back again. It's not a strong pain, but it's a clear pain, right? It's not I wouldn't is not so strong to be uncomfortable, but it's very obvious, and is at the same occasion. So I was saying that I also did an exam. I did a barium exam or something like this with they gave me to drink something, 2 big cups I think of phosphorus solution, um, and they took me X-ray and they told me there is nothing wrong with the colon at that area. So the reason for the pain was actually irritation, but this irritation did not go away. So my partial blockage did go away. Sometimes it comes back, but the irritation did not heal. So actually, whenever I have that pain again, I know I I know I'm too constipated again. So at that point, I will just take more fiber, more salad, or so on. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is that this pain, at least in my situation, is coming back when I having again a period of constipation. So at that moment, I know I need to take more care about the fiber I take and the salad I eat, right? So all this to say that it's good to have an exam to the doctors, but sometimes you need to be aware that if a doctor is asking you to do a colonoscopy, this is a rather difficult exam. Actually, not always difficult. My father had one, and he said it wasn't that bad. But anyhow, so maybe you want to do an exam just if you feel pain, just to make sure you don't have a problem with your intestine or with your colon, but it may be also due to constipation and to irritation, like I said. And this irritation does not heal right away. Even if you treat the constipation part, the irritation may be there for months or years. So just be aware of this scenario. It's just one of these scenarios, obviously possible. I was saying about the my exam. When I drink that solution, I also have kidney problems, and some solutions for exams when you do X-ray to your colons, some it's kind of called opacity solution or something like this. Some solutions, the more common, I forgot the name, but the more common solution can actually be hard on your kidney. If your kidneys are already weak, you need to tell to your doctors, maybe do an exam on your kidneys as well, because like I say in other videos, if you have chronic body dehydration because empty nose condition, you may develop kidney problems because the kidneys get affected by chronic body dehydration. The kidneys are filtering your blood. They filter the entire blood of the body every few hours. So all the blood inside your body is passing through the kidneys, which are just like a sponge. They filter this blood. And if you have chronic dehydration, the blood will get thicker, so the kidney will have to work harder. It's more pressure on the kidneys because of the thicker blood, and this may damage the kidney in the long term. That's why you need to hydrate, to keep hydrating yourself. Drink at least I recommend 1-2 liters of water a day or quarts. So again, keep in mind that persons with empty nose syndrome may also develop kidney problems in the long term. You may want to manage your kidneys. I have a video, manage the food that you eat if you have empty nose syndrome for many years, 10 years. Try not to eat salt. Try not to eat the foods that are hard on kidneys. Not to eat foods that have too much potassium. Read online, inform yourself which food have too much potassium. Too much potassium is bad on the it's hard on weak kidneys. Actually, kidneys need a little much is bad for them. Will give you at least they gave me high blood pressure. I give you an example. At some point, I started to eat two, three, 4 bananas every day. Bananas is very high in potassium. After about 2 weeks, all of a sudden, my blood pressure went from about 115 to about 145, and my heart started pumping at night and so on. And the day where I stopped all of a sudden eating bananas, the next day, the next night, and next days, my blood pressure went back to 115. So it was because high potassium did accumulate from bananas, did accumulate inside my blood, potassium, and at some point the kidneys, because they are weak, did react to this high level of potassium in blood. As soon as I stopped eating bananas, the level of potassium did drop to normal levels, and my blood pressure did drop again as well to normal levels, and my heart stopped pumping abnormally. So I'm just giving you an example of what happened to me. So you need to watch your food, watch the food that affect kidneys. Too much protein also affect kidneys and so on. I have other videos. Look in my playlist. So all this to say, just my sharing my experience about this um, I'm missing the name, constipation problem. Just be aware, people with ENS are very prone to constipation problem after several years to ENS because of body dehydration. Thanks for watching.